about the whole Montreal, Quebec. So is Montreal in Quebec or is Quebec like a different thing?
What?
Like, because Quebec, people refer Quebec as Montreal, Montreal as Quebec. Isn't that like, and then there's like Ottawa.
You need a map.
Hi guys, welcome back to our video. Today we will be discussing the 5 things you must do in Montreal, the 5 things you need to eat, and the 5 tips you need to have for your next trip to Montreal. If you haven't watched our last week's video about Toronto, we're just linking down below. And yeah, let's get started.
So Montreal was our second trip together, and we actually learned from our first trip to Toronto. So hopefully you guys enjoy these tips. So we're gonna start with the 5 things to do.
Number 1, the Notre Dame Basilica. I think this is a must-see in Montreal. It's a church located in Old Port. It's definitely gorgeous. You can definitely see the French architecture within this church. I know the entrance fee is roughly from 8 to 10 Canadian dollars, and it's definitely one of the tourist destinations you must see in Old Port, Montreal.
So number 2, climbing Mount Royal. Mount Royal is in a park at the top of the city, and if you climb it, you're gonna get a beautiful panoramic view of the city. There's no elevators to get up there, so you better be able to walk up and get ready and bring some walking shoes or boots, depending if you're there in the winter. The climb is tough, but once you're actually up there, it's actually worth it, and there's like a little cabin where you can sit and relax once you're ready to go back down.
So number 3, I think definitely an experience you should be having in Montreal is going to a spa, but not a regular spa. This is an outdoor spa experience. It's called Bota Bota Spa. The interesting thing about the spa, it's located on the boat. It's gonna be located in Old Port, Montreal. Entrance fee just varies per season. So highest season is gonna be a little bit more expensive, and then lower season is gonna be definitely a little bit more cheaper. So we recommend going to the spa in the lower season.
And if you take an Uber there, he's just gonna leave you by the area and you just gotta walk there, which we had to learn the hard way. Also, make sure to buy your own swimsuit and your own sandals before you actually go there, or else you're gonna have to pay prices that don't make sense. So number 4, ice skating. Ice skating is one of those things that Canada is kind of known for just because they live in the cold most of the year. But if you're there and have the chance to go ice skating, I recommend, or we recommend, that you go ice skating. Montreal has 2 places to ice skate. There's an outdoor ice skating rink, which is in the Old Port, and it has a very nice view. And then there's an indoor ice skating rink, which is what we did because at the time it was very cold, like below 0 temperature. So it only made sense to go indoor ice skating. So depending on your situation, those are your 2 options, and you cannot go wrong with either one because they're both beautiful and a nice experience to have.
So the 5th thing to do in Montreal is definitely visit the museums. So in downtown Montreal, there's going to be the Museum Mile, just like in New York City. So one of the museums we went to is the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. It's kind of like the New York City Metropolitan Museum because there's a collection of European art, and then there's just different exhibitions. So the exhibition we went to was about Hispanic heritage, and I thought that was really interesting. The mission for the Museum of Fine Arts really depends. First, I highly suggest looking at the website because there are different offers based on holidays and seasons, and to just going in person and ask if there's a student discount. So I feel like one really good thing about Montreal, they offer plenty of student discounts. So always carry your student ID, either university ID or your high school ID.
And also, if you're under 20, it's free, and on the first Sunday of every month they have free exhibitions, so take advantage of that.
So here are some 5 tips for your first time in Montreal.
So the first tip is that Montreal is a bilingual city. They speak French and English as it's located in Quebec, which the province is French Canadian. So you don't really need to know French when you go to Montreal, but it's appreciated. So learning some basic phrases is very polite and nice, as it is just like going to any other place that doesn't only speak English. But you'll move around just like anywhere else in the US.
Tip number 2. What I love the most about Montreal is how diverse each neighborhood and borough is. So basically, Montreal, I want to say it's small to mid-sized city, but it's definitely walkable, and you're able to walk or use the metro for each neighborhood or borough. So one of our favorite boroughs and neighborhoods is Le Plateau. So it's kind of like a really hipster, artsy scene, and they have really good food. Then there's Old Port, Montreal, which is the touristic hub. Old Port is basically where it's the spa, the Ferris wheel, and the ice skating rink. There's just a bunch of attractions that are available all season round. There's also Chinatown, which is really good. They have a lot of cute restaurants and stuff like that. And there's downtown Montreal, which is going to be where the Museum Mile is at. And there's going to be a bunch of like galleries and higher end restaurants and cafes.
So tip number 3, Layer yourself and cover yourself up. Obviously, this tip mostly applies to you if you're there during the spring or winter. It can get very cold in Montreal as it can reach temperatures close to 0 degrees or under 0 degrees, or this in Celsius. So make sure to have a very good coat and boots and anything that can make your legs warm, because Montreal is a very cold place if you're there during the winter or the spring.
When we were there in Montreal, I was able to wear like 3 pairs of leggings underneath of my pants of how cold it was. We were able to manage to go there during like the coldest time of the year. So I highly recommend just layer. Just bring your turtlenecks, bring your scarves, bring your mittens, your earmuffs.
It was an experience, but if you don't like the cold, completely avoid Montreal during that time.
Winter, yeah. Tip number 4, you're able to walk everywhere. So Montreal is because it's such a small to medium-sized city, you really have the access to walk basically anywhere to everywhere. The metro system is really great and the public transportation system is great, and I know it's pretty reliable and cheap, but honestly while we went to Montreal, even though it was like negative 10 degrees, we're able to walk everywhere. One tip when you are walking everywhere during the winter is bring snow boots that grip, because a lot of Montreal streets, especially in Old Port, they all have cobblestone. So it makes it really easy to slip.
And also, they don't really clean up the ice, since I guess that's something they're used to.
Yeah.
So their street maintenance might not be how it is in many other big cities. So it might be very easy to find ice on the streets, and if you're not watching out, you can easily fall.
But other than that, I think Montreal is great for walking and getting your steps in.
So tip number 5, party! So Montreal is known for its party scene. A lot of young Americans and Canadians outside of the Quebec province, they travel to Montreal to have fun, since the drinking age is actually 18. And since there's a lot of bars and clubs where people just gather and have fun. So Saint Laurent, I probably botched that, is the street that's known for where the parties happen. So if you're there and you're trying to find the clubs or the bars, that's where you should head up. And there's another street, this is the name of it. Those are the 2 main ones. Those are the ones where you're gonna find your fun. Also, drink responsibly and take care of yourself. If this is your first time drinking in Montreal, don't embarrass yourself. Or actually embarrass yourself, because you might not remember it anyways, unless your friends are recording you. So now we're moving on to the 5 must-eats.
My favorite part. Okay. So number 1, the first place you must eat, and I highly recommend, is La Finca Cafe. La Finca Cafe is going to be located near Old Port, Montreal. It's a really cute cafe. They sell like coffee, small sandwiches. It's more of like a quick and light breakfast. What I really like about this space, it's also a co-working space. You're able to bring your computer, and if you're somehow doing work in Montreal, I think it's a really good place to relax and just have a cup of coffee.
Number 2, Tommy Cafe. Tommy Cafe is a breakfast spot. It has a lot of plants for all of you that love taking pictures of places to eat. And it has some really nice food on top of that, which is the important part here. That's what I care about.
Exactly. What I also really like about Tommy Cafe, besides being very Instagrammable, the food is very yummy, very healthy, and also I think it's under a good 10 Canadian dollars you're able to get a meal. So it's always on budget.
So number 4. Number 4 is not necessarily a place, it's more about 2 certain foods that you have to eat once you're in Montreal. Number 1, if you saw the Toronto episode, you know this. Poutine. Can't go to Canada and not eat any poutine, especially Montreal. Poutine is their thing for sure. And the second thing is the smoked meat sandwich. I can't even speak of how good it was when I ate it. You see that? Just eat it. So it's very simple. It's a sandwich with smoked meat, but it's kind of fat, and if you don't have a big stomach, it's good for sharing. Or if you're like me, it's good for yourself. It's very great. So for the poutine, we went to one place that we're not gonna talk about because it was touristy, so it wasn't as good, but it was okay. And the second place, Poutineville. You're gonna get your money's worth. Their serving size is very big, and it was beyond what we both could handle, even sharing one plate. And also, Poutineville is not the only place to eat poutine. Just make your research and ask locals, because there's a lot of other great poutine places that we didn't get to eat while we were in Montreal.
Yeah, there's one poutine place that I'm definitely looking forward to. When I said I went to Montreal, that a lot of locals go. It's in French, so I'm just gonna put it right here, and I'll just link it down below.
And for the smoked meat sandwich, you're generally gonna hear Schwartz is the place, which you should hit up if you're around there. But there's a second place around there which was recommended by a tattoo artist when someone was there getting something done. And it's called Main Deli Steakhouse. This is the type of place I like. I like the places where it's not about how it looks or how they treat you. I just want them to be like, here you go, and like the food is the most amazing thing. This is what this place is about. Our waitress, she just wanted to bounce and get her tip. The place looked kind of rusty inside, but once we got that smoked meat sandwich and those fries, beautiful.
You sound like a Yelper bean. So one really good example of comparing the two sandwich shops, they're both from a very close distance. Schwartz is very popular and it's like known to have like really long lines. So it's kind of saying like the Cats of Montreal. While Main Deli is really more local and where all the locals go and eat, and they just want to avoid tourists. And it's really, really good. We haven't had Schwartz, but I feel like we didn't need to because it was just so good. Number 5, the 5th location you definitely should hit up is located in Chinatown. So Chinatown is going to be found for just a bunch of bubble tea shops, a lot of pastry shops, a lot of good restaurants. So one of the bakeries we hit up is called Basterie Harmonie. It's a really cute, I want to say Korean shop. What I really like is that they have these really cute animal buns, picture here, and it was just so good. They were filled with like custard and like Nutella chocolate, and they have a bunch of options. Besides the buns, they have also a bunch of other pastries and a lot of like savory snacks. So definitely a place you should hit up when you're in Chinatown.
Also, once you're there, go get some boba, whatever you get from there, because their large cups are like this big, and we were caught off guard, but it was amazing to see that. Alright, so that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed our tips for Montreal. We hope you have a good time if you're actually watching this to go there, or this inspires you to actually go to Montreal.
So make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We upload every single week, and make sure to leave a comment. If you have any more suggestions to add on this list, or if you're planning to go or have come back from Montreal, we always love to hear your stories.
Alright, so thank you. See you next week.